Now then folks, welcome to the channel. It's VFR Mitch here. Thanks for visiting again. Today we're going to be doing the first in a series of videos accessorising and modifying my Royal Enfield Interceptor. Just a bit of background, the bike was purchased September 22. It's a Euro 5 2022 model. It's got about 500 miles on the clock. It has had its first service. When I first bought the bike, I made a couple of small modifications to allow me to ride it. I'm 6'4", not the smallest of chaps. I put the TEC 30mm bar risers on there just to lift the bars up a bit, and I also swapped out the brake levers because the original ones have got no adjustment on and they're a bit cheap and tacky, to be fair. I got the TEC machined alloy ones in the black anodised finish. Plenty of adjustment, really comfy. I'd just like to thank firstly my brother for the TEC Bikeparts gift voucher which he got me for birthday / Christmas. A lot of my money has also gone towards making these videos, and also thank you for the support from TEC Bikeparts. As I said, this is a series of videos. I'm going to start off on something very simple. Many modifications you can make, whether it's aesthetics, ergonomics or performance. The first one is going to be the oil cooler / radiator cover. So let's get cracking. So now we're a bit lower down on the right side of the bike. What we're going to be doing is taking off the very flimsy Royal Enfield, what they class as a guard, which is absolutely pathetic, to be fair with you. The wind will bend that. And we're going to be putting on the TEC Bikeparts alloy cover, two-piece. It's mesh welded in to some alloy plate, which is obviously got angles on there to strengthen it. Very stiff unit. It uses the original fixings of the bike. This is one of the simplest modifications you can do, basically. Tools required for this ideally are either a pair of 10mm spanners, or a 10mm spanner and a 10mm socket, or, believe it or not, I've had a go with this, you can actually take it off and install a new one with a stubby posi driver. I wouldn't recommend that. That's the minimum of tools required. Obviously 10mm sockets, everybody's got those in abundance, aren't they? So I'm going to jump round the left hand side of the bike. I'm limited for space down there because of the way the bike's set up in the garage for filming this. But I'm going to just jump round the other side of the bike and we're going to start taking the old unit off. It shan't be a second. Right, so I'm now at the left hand side of the bike, and I'm just going to pop a picture on screen to let you know there's actually 4 fixings along the bottom edge of this radiator. The outer 2, which are the chrome looking bolt heads, they are to hold the radiator on the bike. We're not touching the chrome ones. We're going after the black anodised finish ones, which are the middle 2, which also have the crosshead indent in there. So let's just get doing this blind. 10mm socket. I'm holding the back of the nut with my hand because I believe if your bike's in very clean condition like mine is, it's only done 500 miles and it's well maintained and it's always sprayed with something to protect it. There's not much crap on there, it's very clean. So the nut's just spinning off the back of my finger and I'm holding the front bolt with the 10mm socket. Just get my hand around the back, take the nut off, pull the bolt out. So basically we have a bolt with a 10mm head and a crosshead in there, and we've got a 10mm flanged, don't know what they call them, grip nut on the back. So that's one side done. Let's just jump onto the side nearest me now. Again, it's the inner of the 2 bolts, the black bolt. Again, it just needed half a crank with a spanner, and this one is spinning off as well, I'm lucky. If your bike's a bit older or a bit dirtier than this, or yeah, so it's a bit older, you're probably going to need a spanner on the back just to hold the rear nut. So there we are, pair of nuts and bolts. Now this just lifts off. There's two rubbers on the top. I'm just going to come around the other side of the bike now and show you. So what we've got on the original guard, can you see how that's bending? That's flimsy. You've got two rubber grommets in the top. I don't know whether you can see, there's two pins stuck out the top of the cooler stroke radiator, and that's what those drop over, and then your bolts just fasten in them two lugs at the bottom and hold it steady. Another little tip for you as well, it's actually about 5 degrees here in the UK at the moment. It's freezing in this garage. I'm going to struggle, I know, to get these rubber grommets back in to the TEC guard. They'll come out easy enough, but trying to get the buggers back into the new guard may prove difficult. So what I'd recommend doing is, if you're in a cold environment, is to get a bowl of hot water, just drop it in there for a couple of minutes, warm them up, and they'll pop out easy peasy. These are coming out, but I know I'm going to struggle to get them back in. So I'm just going to warm these up a bit. I'll be back in a moment. Right, so I'm back with my grommets, which have been suitably warmed up. I've got the TEC guard here. Still a bit wet, so they could be a bit tricky to get in. Let's try these one at a time. Should go straight in with them being warm. Should have dried them off. Screw it about a bit. Yeah, be sure to dry them off when you try this. This is going to be the most time-consuming part of the video, is getting these grommets back in. One in. There we go. Let's go in. It's much sturdier than the original guard. The original guard was taking the grommets out. The original guard was actually bending. It's that thin. So we've got the grommets. Let's just make sure they're all nice and neat. So we've got the two rubber grommets back in. I'll nip round the other side of the bike and we'll get this installed. So we're just simply hooking the grommets over the two pegs, like so. Just slide them nicely. Let's get that into position. We'll then put in the bolts back through the fixings on the TEC guard. That's one. Just hold the bolt at the front and spin the nut on the back. For some reason it's easy for me to spin the nut on this one. Let's try again. There we go. Spin one nut on the back. Get the second nut and bolt. Pop it through the hole. Nut on the back. Spinning on nicely. Again, I'm not going to bother putting a spanner on the back, so I'm not going to need this. So I'm just going to tighten them. Now I've got them both in, I'm just going to nip them up with the 10mm socket. Just holding the nut on the back of my hand. nice and tight. Don't know what torque these are supposed to go to. Use your common sense. It's not safety critical. Yep, about that tight. So we've got the, yeah, that sounds well, doesn't it? That is, can it bend? That's the original one. That's the TEC one. The good thing with TEC Bikeparts is, if you've ever visited the YouTube channel, which is TEC Bikeparts, they have instructional videos on how to fit most of the accessories that are available. When you buy, oops, just banged my head. When you buy one of their products, they also send you out the latest bike brochure. They do many parts for Triumph and Royal Enfield. We're on version 9 catalogue now. That's issue 8, sorry. Issue 9 is the latest one. These are full of parts. Every part you could ever wish to modify on your bike. The website is also very good, which is tecbikeparts.com. You choose the make and model of your bike, drop down the little menu, then you choose like performance, electrical, exhaust, alloy work, whatever you want. It really is very, very good. The parts are extremely well made. They're based in the northeast of England, which is synonymous, and historically it was shipbuilding and engineering, so it's all top quality stuff there. What I'm also going to do, because I've got a bit of time, is I'm going to show you, I'm just going to move the camera. Now, you'll notice on the right-hand engine casing of the Royal Enfields, you've got the clutch arm there, which is, it's a bit ugly in all fairness. Again, available from TEC Bikeparts, and I think they may be the only people that do this part, is the clutch arm cover, which is a machined bit of alloy, available in either polished silver or anodised black. It's billet alloy, single piece, and basically that goes over that ugly arm just to finish it off. I've got mucky hands, so I'm going to polish this when I'm done. But basically what you do is you remove the 10mm spanner. You just take the little bolt out that holds the arm secure to the rod there. The cover then simply goes over the top. It comes with a bolt with a 4mm Allen head or X head. What they recommend you do, when I find mine, is you bob a little bit of Loctite on there just to stop it coming off. Let's put too much on. So I've got a little bit of Loctite on there, blue Loctite. Pop that in there. Get my 4mm Allen hex wrench. And just nip that up tight. I'll just polish that off with me hoodie. Now this is actually going to be shinier than my engine casing, because as I say, my bike is new. I've not had a go at the engine casings yet. I'm yet to do that, polish them out. But if I just move the camera over, you can now see the clutch arm cover. It follows the contour of that shoulder there, and it just finishes it all off nicely. Doesn't hinder anything. It's got free movement. Just looks a bit of class, to be fair with you. As far as I'm aware, there's only TEC Bikeparts that do that, so please be sure to have a look on the website just to see what else you fancy on there. If you like what you've seen today, please subscribe to the channel if I'm Mitch. I've got a series of approximately 5 videos coming on modifying this Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. This is the first one, so subscribe, please comment. Anything else you'd like me to have a go at, please comment. I have got a big box of parts I'm going to be working my way through. So yeah, thanks for watching, stay safe.